All right, hello everyone. So we have the following problem. Find the following limit if it exists. Limit as x approaches minus 4 of the quantity x squared minus x minus 20 divided by the quantity x cubed plus 2x squared minus 11x minus 12. So if you were to approach minus 4, and or in other words, a lot of people say 0 over, plug in negative 4, or plug in the number into both the numerator and denominator, you would get 0 on the numerator and 0 on the denominator. Okay? So you have this form 0 over 0. That is what we call an indeterminate form. And an indeterminate form is a form for which you don't know what the limit is. You have to do a little bit more work to figure it out. A lot of people would say, oh, this is undefined. That's what the answer is, because they have the 0 done on the denominator. But recall, you're not saying that you have a 0 on the denominator. You're saying that the denominator approaches 0, but that's it. Okay. All right, so how do I handle something like this? Well, we're going to use some algebra, like we typically do with a lot of these problems. And in this case, maybe some factoring. I can see that the numerator is, it's fairly all right to factor. I think it would be x minus 5 times x plus 4. Now the denominator, that's where I think the issue is at, because it's a cubic. Okay. So how do I deal with that cubic? Well, here's how I would deal with it. There's a rule from algebra that says the following. If you have a number is a root of a polynomial, then x minus that number is a factor of that polynomial. So if you looked at the denominator, when we, quote unquote, plugged in minus 4 in there, we got 0, which basically means that negative 4 is a factor of that. So x cubed plus 2x squared minus 11x minus 12 equals x plus 4 times something, okay? And what I like to do is I like to figure out what that something is, okay? So how do I go about doing that? Well, if you look at this as an equation, and I say like I'm trying to figure out what the box is here, the polynomial. Oops, I forgot an x up here, sorry. Divided by x plus 4. Yeah, that would give me what I'm looking for, that other something here. We can use long division here for sure, or we can use some synthetic division, okay? That's what I would actually try here. So for those that are not familiar with synthetic division, it's basically this process where you take the coefficients of a polynomial, the one that's on top, 2, minus 11, minus 12, and you take the opposite sign of whatever that x plus is, so it's a minus 4, and you put it there on the side. Synthetic division only works with monic polynomials, basically of degree 1 here. We're talking about binomials here, so monic binomials. And the coefficient here has to be 1 as well. If it was 3 or something along those lines, you'd have to, there's a way to around that, but you have to divide the 3, and well, it's a whole other story. But anyways, you can do synthetic division here, is a little quicker, but long division would work out. And with synthetic division, the way it works is that you would take the coefficient that you see here, 1, and just drop it down. And you're going to take 1, multiply it by minus 4, gives you a negative 4. 2 minus 4 is minus 2. And minus 2 times minus 4 is 8. Minus 8 plus 3 is a negative 3. Negative 8 plus negative 11 plus 8 is a negative 3. Negative 3 times negative 4 is a 12. And you get 0. So this right here represents the coefficients of a polynomial of 1 degree less. So this would be 1x squared minus 2x minus 3, okay? And that is what you would have for that term that would be next to the x plus 4. So x cubed plus 2x squared minus 11x minus 12 equals x plus 4 times x squared minus 2x minus 3, okay? So, yeah, and it looks like we're like 500 miles away from what we had originally here as a problem. But let me go back to where we're at. And yeah, this is pretty much almost a it's a topic in calculus, but as you can see, it's just algebra is really much what we did here to simplify this, to work this out. So I'm gonna write what I have one more time, and that denominator is now factorable as x plus 4 times x squared minus 2x minus 3. The x plus 4s would cancel. And I'm gonna replace my x with minus 4. And negative 4 minus 5 is minus 9 on both the numerator and denominator. Replace x with negative 4. So then you would get 16 plus 8 minus 3, so 21. So minus 9 over 21, or minus 3/7 is your answer. Okay. So the key here was to factor. And the factoring wasn't easy. That was an important thing to know. You had a solution where we had to factor both the numerator and denominator. The numerator was okay, but the denominator was the issue. And what I said was I used some algebra, some fact from algebra that says if you have a polynomial and you know that a value makes it equal to 0, then x minus that number is a factor. So x plus 4 divides into x cubed plus 2x squared minus x minus 12. And we got that, the actual result of that division by doing synthetic division. And we plugged it in and canceled things out. And there you go. And then we just did some cancellation. And the one thing I was going to say, the x plus 4s, when they canceled, that kind of was the part where the zeros came into play. That's why you had 0 over 0, so we cancel that out. And a lot of the time, that's what you're doing, is you're trying to look for that thing that makes both the numerator and denominator 0. Okay. All right. Well, I appreciate your time. Thank you so much. Hope this helps.